Once upon a time, in a small village surrounded by dark forests, there lived a poor boy named Hans. He loved music and spent his days whistling cheerful tunes as he worked. But Hans was too poor to afford an instrument of his own. One cold morning, Hans wandered into the forest to gather firewood. As he picked up sticks, he stumbled upon a small clearing where an old woman sat on a mossy stone. Her hair was as white as snow, and her cloak shimmered like moonlight. In her hand, she held a wooden flute. "Kind boy," the woman said, "I've watched you work so hard. Take this flute, and it will play the most beautiful music anyone has ever heard." Hans was overjoyed and thanked her. He placed the flute to his lips and blew. A soft, enchanting melody filled the air, and birds began to flutter down from the trees to listen. But before Hans could thank the woman again, she had vanished. Excited, Hans ran back to the village to share his gift. When he played his flute in the town square, people were drawn to the music. They clapped and tossed coins at his feet. For the first time, Hans felt rich. But one night, as Hans played the flute in his small cottage, he noticed something strange. The shadows in the room began to twist and grow. They crept toward him, whispering, "Give us the flute!" Frightened, Hans stopped playing, and the shadows vanished. The next day, Hans went to the village elder and told him what had happened. The elder's face turned pale. "That flute is cursed," he said. "The music enchants all who hear it, but it feeds on your soul. You must return it to where you found it." Hans was heartbroken. The flute had brought him happiness, but he didn't want to lose his soul. That night, under the light of a full moon, Hans returned to the clearing. The old woman appeared again, smiling sadly. "You have done well, Hans," she said. "You resisted the flute's greed. Few can do that." She took the flute and replaced it with a golden coin. "This coin will never run out of value, as long as you remain kind and humble." Hans returned to the village and used the coin to help the poor. He lived a long, happy life, playing music with nothing but his whistle. And the flute was never seen again.